The media keep on all the time misinterpreting what you've been saying. You said it so many times clearly that Kenya requires a national convention. We want to have a national convention that people of Kenya or their representatives will come together to talk constructively about problems which are facing our country today. Kenya is at a critical juncture. We either move forward or we perish. Because we don't want to perish, we need that conversation. And that is what I had proposed, that we must have this conversation that take cognizance of the demographic profile of our nation. And that there are several issues that need to be discussed at that convention. But I've also said that there matters precedence, issues that must be dealt with first before that convention can be had. This includes, number one, compensation for the families of the victims of violence last year and this year. Two, paying of all the hospital medical bills of the victims of police violence last year. Number three is a release of all people who have been arrested and are in police custody. Number four is the dropping of all the pending charges which are pending in courts. Number five is the sacking and prosecution of all police officers who have been involved in criminal violence against innocent Kenyans who are actually exercising their rights as enshrined in the Constitution. And then we said that once that has been done, then people will sit down and dialogue. And we've also actually come up with what that dialogue should be about. The issues that have been raised by Gen Zs are not new issues. There are similar issues which we raised last time. Even last year we were on the streets. We talked about unemployment in our country. We talked about high cost of living in our country. We talked about corruption, rampant corruption in the country. We talked about tribalism and ethnicity, discrimination in our country. And then we talked about management of debt in the country. These are critical issues that need to be discussed. But thirdly is the issue of governance. You have a new constitution, but we are not actually following that constitution. There are issues which were pending. Kenyans met at Bomas of Kenya and deliberated for a very, very long time and came up with a very, very progressive constitution. That constitution was bastardized to a certain extent during the so-called Naivasha process. We must go back to the Bomas draft constitution, put it back on the table, and see what needs to be cleaned up so that we can have a progressive constitution. So you said, therefore, that it's on the basis of that kind of elaborate process that we can then talk about a government of national unity. But then you say that if you want to take some of our experts and get into your government, you release them to join your government and work in accordance with the ethics of our party, ODM and Azimio. This is what we said. We have not changed. This position has not changed. We said we want to see a new Kenya, and the people of Kenya are entitled to it. And that's why we said we agree with Gen Z in their demands. Gen Z demands are the demands of the people of Kenya. Irul Kaman. Alonso Maganya, Irul Kaman.